Good morning, everybody. I am Archana Sarat, a traditionally published author and the founder of readwriteinspire.com, a platform for writers. Yesterday on Instagram, I was asked the question on how we can deal with writer's block. Often at literary festivals and interviews, I'm repeatedly asked this question on writer's block and how we can actually deal with them and how I deal with them. Today, I thought it would be a good idea to talk about writer's block, tell you what it is and how does it manifest itself and how we can deal with it. For this, I'm going to use my own personal examples and tell you about how I handled it. In my opinion, writer's block can happen because of two different reasons. And I'd like to call these reasons as technical reasons and emotional reasons. So let's talk about the first reason, technical reasons. When I was writing my first book, um, which is Birds of Prey, I was discovering my writing process as I was writing it. And what I realized was that I couldn't really plot beforehand. So I'm a more organic writer and I discover the story as I write. Now, one problem with all those who don't have a plot before writing the book is that they end up with a very messy first draft, which was exactly the reason, why I couldn't proceed to the second draft. Because I knew I had a story, I had finished my first draft, but how do I take that mess, which is my first draft, and go to the second draft? It seemed like a extremely overwhelming job, and because of that, months went by when I did not write anything, and I just could not proceed on with the project. So I think uh, this could be a very good example of a technical reason why someone faces writer's block. Uh, what I did after this was that I started understanding how I need to proceed. So the thing that worked for me was I picked up some flashcards, wrote out all these scenes, arranged them, and then moved them around and saw where were the holes, which were the places where there were glaring holes where I needed to fill up, and which were the places that didn't work out, and how do I need to shuffle the scenes so that it makes more sense. Once I did that, I had a clarity, and it was easier then to proceed on with the second draft. So I think for many writers, writer's block could be happening simply because of technical reasons. Let me give you another example. With my second book, which is Tales from the History of Mathematics, I wanted to write, about the evolution of mathematics over the years in a very kid-friendly format and through stories, short stories. So there are 26 short stories in this book, and I had wanted to have a good representation about India and India's contribution to mathematics in this book. Now, this is where I ran into problems. There was not enough written material available to tell me about Indian mathematicians or about, their lives, and nothing. There was actually hardly any information available. For example, if you take Aryabhatta, who is one of the most important Indian mathematicians, we only know two things about him. One is that he wrote Aryabhatta when he was 23 years of age, and the second is that he's an Indian mathematician. That's it. So we have absolutely no other information about him. We don't know which state he belongs to. We don't know, how did he gain such an education in mathematics or anything. So what happened was this lack of research severely crippled me when I was writing. So I had, I think, completed about 70-75% of the book when I realized I'm just running out of material. I didn't have enough supportive material to write stories, but at the same time I had enough of mathematical material about the contributions from India about which I wanted to write. So this became a huge problem at that time, and I think a few months went by when I was literally struggling to complete the book. But again, this is also another technical issue. So what I did was, after that, I think it was, you can call it serendipity, but I went to two of the museums in, one was the London Museum and one was the Mumbai Museum. And both these places had some fascinating exhibitions at that time, which spoke about India's early civilization and the contributions made during that civilization. So instead of written material to support my research, I had visual material through which I could draft my stories. And this became invaluable for me in completing the book. So again, I think, this was a technical issue. So when you face writer's block, maybe you should take a second, a step back. Instead of being terribly upset about your block, just take a step back and see what is exactly the block you're facing. Is it because you have insufficient information about something, or is it because you are stuck in a particular writer issue, I should call it, maybe in something relating to plot or something relating to, maybe you're writing a thriller and you need some forensic aspects which you need to research about, and that is what is not allowing you to proceed on with the book. So take a step back, see what is exactly the problem that you're facing in your story and why are you unable to proceed. If it's a technical aspect, and try and resolve it as soon as you can, and I'm sure you'll start writing once again. Now let's talk about the emotional reasons why you may be facing writer's block. And the first most important reason can be your chase for perfectionism. Please tell yourself there's nothing that can ever be perfect in what you write. So what I've realized is that, let's say I have this idea. My ideas could be compared to this beautiful crystal vase. It's so beautiful that you might not even want to put some flowers into it because it's that beautiful crystal vase. Now, what I do with this crystal vase is I put it down and I shatter it. After this, in my first draft, I actually collect pieces of this and I'm trying and sticking them together as best as I can to make them whole again. Now, however hard I try to put this vase together, it's never going to be as perfect as the vase which was in my head. It's shattered. It can never come back to that. So this is something I've learned to accept now, that my ideas are also always going to be so high and so lofty, and I might never be able to do justice for that. My writing might never be perfect, which is completely all right. It does not need to be perfect. And it needs to be able to touch the heart of another. It needs to be able to make them feel for my characters and for what my characters are going through. And that's all. I can't do anything more than that, even if I want to. So if writing terrifies you because you want it to be perfect, but your writing is not as perfect as what you would like it to be, then the first thing you need to do is give yourself permission to write rubbish. You can just write anything you like and it's fine. First, give yourself the permission to do that. Tell yourself it's okay. It's not going to be perfect. I don't care. I'm just going to write. Maybe set a timer, even for just 10 minutes. Set a timer and tell yourself in that entire 10-minute period, you're going to write your story without taking any break. Your pen will not stop moving on the paper, or your fingers will not stop tapping the keyboard. That entire 10 minutes duration, you're going to do it. If 10 minutes terrifies you, then you can think about 5 minutes also. It's fine. It's just that you're giving yourself permission to begin. And once you begin, I'm sure the flow will be there. Now, perfectionism can be one part of the emotional reasons why you may be facing writer's block. But another thing which I personally face a lot are other emotional factors. Like, for instance, if I'm angry, I can't write. If I'm sad, I can't write. If I'm disappointed, I can't write. The funny part is that whenever I feel all these emotions, the one thing that can cure me and get me out of it is writing itself. But I cannot write my story. I can write in a journal about my feelings, my thoughts, pour it out and all that. But to write my story just is not possible. So usually, if I've fought with somebody or if I'm angry at someone, then I try and resolve it with that person, at least for the sake that I'm able to continue writing and, not continue with this torment of not being able to write. But otherwise, if it's an issue that cannot be resolved at all, so the one thing that helps me in case I can't resolve it with that person, or it's not an issue surrounding a person, but it's something that I need to work out for myself, then writing in my journal really helps. I pour out all my feelings, my thoughts. There have even been situations when I've written for hours together in it and just, literally drained myself out of all my, negative emotions and brought myself back into peace. Once that happens, and once that emotion is resolved, I've realized that my writer's block goes away naturally, and I'm able to write once again. So, if this is you, if you are not able to write because of some other factors, then try and see how you can resolve it. Because mostly with emotional reasons, even with technical reasons for that matter, one thing I feel which helps a lot is going for a walk. So when I'm stuck in the story or when I don't know how best to proceed next, so one thing that really helps me is to go for a very long walk. I go alone, preferably, try and go alone, preferably, because if you're having someone else, they're going to talk to you and you're not going to be having the time to think. Try not to take your phone. Even if you take your phone because you feel someone might contact you, please don't listen to music or make a call or check out your messages. Just put it in your bag and go, you know, go silently, go into silence, go for a long walk, and consciously think about what issue you're facing with the story or why you're not able to move. Some people say that not thinking about it helps for them, but for me personally, thinking about my story and why I'm not able to proceed with my story usually throws up a lot of suggestions during the walk. And sometimes I might even carry a piece of paper and a pen to just jot it down when it happens. And this is how, I try and work around the writer's block and all the issues surrounding writer's block. But there have been situations when, uh, you know, re- and I've heard of authors for whom writer's block goes on for a couple of months or even years. My suggestion to those people would be, uh, just try and keep yourself away from words for some time. I don't know, somehow I felt it really works. Words in any form, maybe newspapers or books, or, even writing in your journal also, or watching television or Netflix or YouTube, social media, all kinds of words, just try and keep yourself away from words. Try and maintain silence inside and outside for some time. Calm yourself. And I'm sure, when you are in that state of calm, solutions always pop up. So, this is what I've seen for myself. Whenever things get too much, if I just silence myself, even for a single day, I feel half the issues get resolved in that single day, whether it is with my story or whether it's with my emotions or whether it's my obsession with perfectionism or my general overwhelm with things happening around me, it really helps. Just try and keep yourself away from all kind of words for a single day, and you will start longing for words. You will start wanting, to fill that void with your own words. And that's how I think you can resolve writer's block. Uh, Please let me know if you have any more suggestions. I'd love to hear them. Please put them in the comments below. And if you like this video, please click like and subscribe to the channel. I have many more such videos for you. Thank you. Bye bye.